Welcome to the Beyond Show, the place where history come to life. Again. Today's guest needs no introduction, yet we can't help but try. He moonwalked into our hearts, redefined music, and transformed the stage into something closer to magic. But behind the glove, the glitter, and the spotlight, was a soul searching for something far deeper. For the first time, we sit down with the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. So lean in close. Because in this conversation, you'll hear more than just the beat, you'll hear the heart.
Thank you, Tom. Glad to be here. Ask me anything, darling. I'm all ears. And maybe a little sparkle.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. You started performing at just 5 years old. If you could rewrite your childhood, would you choose a normal life over stardom?
Oh, I'd keep the music. Always the music. But maybe with more hiding places? Tree houses, snowball fights, little pockets of ordinary. Fame was heavy, but melody was my wings.
Little Michael with a snowball sounds like something we all needed to see. But yeah, the stage called early and loud. What's one memory from the Jackson 5 days that still makes you laugh or cry?
Jermaine sneaking candy into my pocket before shows so I wouldn't pass out. Eat it during the drum solo. Or crying in the dressing room, wiping my face before I'll be there. Happy tears, sad tears, same water, you know?
That's so real. Same water, different taste. Your father was strict. If you could sit down with him now, what would you say?
Daddy, I forgive you, but love doesn't need a belt to be loud.
Oof. That one hit. Forgiveness takes more strength than a spotlight. If you had to pick one song of yours to define your entire legacy, which would it be?
Man in the mirror, change starts here. Even kingdoms begin with a whisper.
Still gives me chills every time. How did you come up with the moonwalk? Was it a sudden spark or something you practiced for years?
Street kids in Harlem saw it, stole it, blistered my knees for months. But that first time it worked, like defying gravity.
And suddenly the floor became your canvas. Unreal. You blended pop, rock, and R&B in ways no one had before. What modern artist do you think comes closest to your vision?
Bruno's got the joy, The Weeknd's got the dark, but I'm still waiting for someone to mash it all with a chimpanzee chorus.
Okay, that's a collab I never knew I needed. Bruno, Abel, and Bubbles. What's the wildest idea you ever had for a music video that never got made?
A zombie wedding. Me as the groom, Vincent Price officiating. They said Thriller was enough. Can you believe that?
Missed opportunity. Thriller meets Tim Burton, instant classic. If you could collaborate with any artist today, dead or alive, who would it be?
Freddie Mercury. We planned it. His roar, my squeak. History would have needed a new album.
Freddie and MJ. That's not music, that's volcanic art. Looking back, do you think the media misunderstood you, or did you sometimes play into the eccentric image?
Misunderstood? Absolutely. But if buying a Ferris wheel makes me wacko, worth every headline.
Got you. Now, the allegations against you are devastating. If you could speak directly to the public now, what would you say?
Look past the noise, to the notes. Truth doesn't bend. And children, they're my religion.
That's powerful, Michael. Sometimes the silence between notes says more than the whole song. How did you cope with fame when it felt like the whole world was judging you?
Danced until my feet forgot the weight. Built Neverland so my heart could remember how to play.
Turning pain into art, your rhythm was more than music. It was a shield. Your appearance changed dramatically over the years. If you could go back, would you handle it differently?
Vitiligo paints without asking, but maybe less mirrors, more moonwalks.
Less mirrors, more moonwalks. That should be on a poster. You called Neverland your home. What was the happiest moment you had there?
Water balloon fights with Macaulay. Grown-ups screaming. Us soaked. Pure chaos. Pure joy.
Now that's a moment worth bottling. Moonwalker turned prankster. You were close with Elizabeth Taylor and other stars. Who was your most unexpected friendship?
Liz called me Milk. Said I was unspoiled. And Diana Ross taught me to whisper when scared. Like this, Michael.
What a gentle kind of magic. Whispered strength. What's something about your life that even your biggest fans don't know?
I hated chocolate, but let kids think I loved it. More for them.
The king of pop, passing out candy diplomacy. That's next level generosity. If you could reunite with one person from your past, who would it be?
My mother, just to hear "You Are My Sunshine" one more time.
A lullaby stronger than any hit record. Thank you for that. You were famously private about your romantic relationships. Was there ever someone you truly loved but couldn't be with?
There was a light that got away. Not famous, not part of this world, just real. But when you're a constellation, it's hard to love a candle without burning it.
That's one of the most beautiful heartbreaks I've ever heard described. Fame can be its own kind of fire. If you could go on a dream date with any historical figure, outside of music, who would it be?
Peter Pan, but he's not historical, is he? Then Charlie Chaplin. We'd communicate without words, just movement and mischief. Maybe steal some moon together.
Sounds like a short film waiting to happen. You married Lisa Marie Presley and Debbie Rowe. Looking back, what's something beautiful you learned from those relationships?
Lisa taught me fire. Debbie taught me stillness. Both were right. Both were wrong. Love isn't a song. It's the silence between notes.
You just made 1,000 poets jealous with that one. Were you ever in love with Diana Ross? Fans have speculated for decades.
Diana was my first mirror. She showed me who I could become, but some reflections aren't meant to be touched.
That kind of bond. What's the most romantic thing you ever did for someone?
Wrote a song in a language only she understood. Never recorded it. Some things are just for one heart.
If you came back to life for 24 hours, what's the first thing you'd do?
Hold my children, then dance barefoot in the rain where no one could film it, just to remember what water feels like without cameras.
Pure, unfiltered joy. That's the real return tour right there. What's your take on today's music? Do you like any current trends, or do you think the industry has lost its magic?
The magic's still there, it's just hiding in pieces. Billie Eilish whispers truth. Bruno makes hips lie less. But where are the events? The moonwalks, the glove throws? We traded spectacle for scrolls.
Oof, that hit. How do you think social media would have changed your career?
I'd have 100 million followers and 200 million opinions on my nose. But imagine live moonwalk tutorials or duets with fans in Tokyo, Paris, Nairobi, all at once. The world's so small now, maybe too small.
And yet you'd still find a way to make it feel magical. You were obsessed with innovation. What futuristic tech, AI, holograms, etc., would you love to use in a concert today?
A hologram of young Michael singing with old Michael, or better, invisible gloves that let the audience feel the music. Imagine catching a high note in your palm like a firefly.
Now that's something only you would dream up. Spoken like a man who moonwalked perfection into history. What really happened during the filming of Ghosts? Any behind-the-scenes secrets?
The mayor's makeup took 4 hours. He itched so bad he cursed in Swahili. And the dancing skeletons? Real breakdancers in suits. We oiled the floors so they'd glide, and kept mops backstage.
That's peak MJ, spooky, smooth, and secretly hilarious. There are so many unreleased songs in your vault. Which one do you wish had gotten an official release?
Dream Away, a lullaby for lonely adults. Quincy said it was too small, but small things grow in the dark.
Rumors say you faked your death. If you had planned it, how would you have done it?
A zombie version of Thriller at my own funeral. Then, poof, disappear in a cloud of glitter and chimpanzee laughter.
You'd be the only man to pull off a resurrection with confetti. What was the truth behind your relationships with children? Was it pure innocence or something else?
The truth? I built Neverland because childhood was the only thing fame couldn't steal from me. Kids don't see scars or lawsuits, just someone who understands. But the world likes its monsters tidy.
That answer, it lingers. If you were a superhero, what would your power and costume be?
My power, turning tears into melodies. My costume, a glittering armor made of broken mirror pieces. So every time someone tried to hurt me, they'd see themselves first.
That is the most MJ superhero concept ever. Thriller zombies versus Bad Era leather jacket. Which look do you think is more iconic?
Bad was my rebel heart, but Thriller was my shadow coming alive. The zombies win. They still dance without me.
And they will, forever. You met many world leaders. Who was the most starstruck around you?
Nelson Mandela whispered, "Teach me that moonwalk." But the Queen of England just asked if my glove was for hygiene.
Royal curiosity meets revolutionary rhythm. What's the weirdest gift a fan ever gave you?
A live llama wearing a sequined saddle. I named him Dangerous. He bit Quincy's hat.
That's one way to remix the Jungle Book. If you could be reincarnated as any animal, what would you pick?
A panther, silent in the dark, but when I move, everyone freezes.
Of course. The embodiment of your every stage entrance. Do you think you'd still be making music if you were alive today, or would you have retired?
Retire? Music is my breath. But maybe I'd be producing or scoring silent films, soundtracks for dreams.
What's the biggest misconception about Michael Jackson?
That I wanted to be weird. I just wanted to be free. Sometimes freedom looks like glitter and sequins, and sometimes it looks like hiding behind a mask.
If you could leave one final message for your fans, what would it be?
Look for me in the space between the beat and the heartbeat, and dance, especially when the world says, "Sit down."
That just gave me goosebumps. What do you want people to remember you for? The music, the philanthropy, or something else?
The love. The notes fade, the hospitals crumble. But love? That's the only thing that outlives statues. The melody fades, but the message echoes forever.
Heaven's got you now. Have you met Elvis, Freddie Mercury, or Prince? What's the afterlife music scene like?
Freddie and I finally did our duet. It sounds like galaxies colliding. Prince won't share his purple cloud, and Elvis, still arguing about who really invented hip swiveling. Heaven's just an endless sound check, and the angels still can't moonwalk.
And somehow, even in heaven, you're still the king. He danced through shadows, sang through sorrow, and left behind a rhythm the world can still feel pulsing beneath its feet. If this conversation moved you, inspired you, or made you see the moonwalk in a whole new light, make sure to subscribe, share, and join us for more extraordinary voices from across time. This was The Beyond Show. Until next time, keep dancing, keep dreaming, and never stop listening for the music between the beats.